So over the last few months, I've been speculating whether Oscar De La Hoya was interested in certain fighters named outside of Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz, who's already under the Golden Boy umbrella. But Oscar De La Hoya recently said that he didn't believe that the boxer of the next era, as far as the face of boxing right now, was probably even alive right now. He was like, I don't know if a face of boxing is even alive right now for Mexican boxing. Who knows? And then recently, he was asked again about it, and he said, you know what? I do have someone that I think that would actually be not just the next face of Mexican boxing, but the face of boxing, period. And a person he named was Emiliano Vargas. Emiliano Vargas is somebody that I was saying recently could be a guy that could replace Ryan Garcia if that was the case. But he said that he would love to work with Emiliano Vargas, and his father. They already have a good background in boxing, and him and Oscar, they already know how to direct certain fighters. People can say what they want, but Oscar has done a great job as far as getting these guys in big fights, Canelo and Ryan Garcia. And you seen Virgil Ortiz recently, but he's definitely interested in taking a step forward and getting the situation going with Emiliano Vargas or somebody like that. But he's saying that as far as the next face of boxing, could be him. That's who he sees as the next face of boxing. I thought once he passed that question the first time, as far as, because I thought the same thing. But to be honest with you, if things could fall into place, who knows? Who knows? People do come out of nowhere, and not saying that Vargas is, but as far as being a face of boxing, hey, who knows? It can come from anywhere. At this point, we don't know what direction boxing is even going as a whole, and what certain people are looking for, or what the majority is looking for. We honestly don't know. The sweet science is definitely still there, but is that the popular pick now? Will the numbers outweigh the skill sets and everything else? Not saying that Vargas doesn't have that, but if he can pull in the numbers or anything that can help grow the popularity, that will work in his favor. And Oscar just sees the whole recipe, and he knows that, I don't know, he has the same thing that he's seen work plenty of times in the past. And he probably sees a huge opportunity with Vargas as far as being a guy who could step in and be a face of boxing in his eyes. He was truthful about it in my eyes. I think he was honestly truthful about it, the way he felt. I don't think he was just saying that just because he wanted to get a deal with him. I think he was saying that because first Oscar was like, nah, I don't really see it as far as anybody. And this is basically unbiased because he didn't say Ryan or Virgil Ortiz. I'm pretty sure he thinks of those guys highly, but as far as I've seen, he doesn't. He's loyal to them, as far as I've seen. But in Emiliano Vargas situation, I mean, a lot of people are saying that though. They're saying he's next up. So that's not something that Oscar's saying that's not really in the conversation already. He's just saying it from what he's seen and what he thought about. He probably went back and thought about it and said, oh, you know what? There's probably one guy who got a chance. And that's an honest answer in my eyes. If you can pick 10 people right now that's not already in the conversation, his name gonna pop up. So, I mean, that's at least a 10% chance that his name will come up in that conversation. So, that's not something that's surprising to me that he would say that. Makes a lot of sense. Then his father's already a boxing legend. Yeah. So when you see things like that, you can honestly sit back and say, okay, yeah, That makes sense. We could sell this and already has popularity. People know who he is. Yeah, that can work. But that's what he said. That was a surprising candidate though that he threw out there, Emiliano Vargas. Not surprised though.